Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the weeks of February 2nd through the 15th. Today is Saturday, February 15th. I'm off to a bit of a late start today, but I do have a few things to talk to you about. I did finish a few books. I have some knitting progress to share with you, so we'll do a Yarnie update. I will share with you 3 more whips that I would like to complete in 2025 as part of the 12 cast-ons kind of thing that I'm doing that was inspired by Ange from Yarn and Yarns and her challenge. And then we will wrap it up at the end. So let's get into it. So I am finding that now that we are doing these bi-weekly, I'm having a little bit of a hard time remembering what I've talked to you about and what I haven't. So I have my Goodreads up on my computer screen right now, which is right below the camera. And so I might have to refer back to that a bit. It looks like I completed 4 novels since I talked to you last. So let's get into it. The first novel that I finished was the 6th book in the Criminal Intentions series by McCade, and that is called Where There's Smoke. This is a male detective investigative story where we follow 2 male detectives who solve crimes. This particular one follows our duo looking for a girl who seems to have been murdered while on the phone with her mother. And so you follow the investigation of that case. I really enjoy the series. I listened to this on audiobook. I have purchased a physical copy for my shelves, and I've also purchased the 7th because I'm really wanting to read more into this series this year. Plus the fact that there are 2.5 seasons out right now. They're called seasons, so this is season 1, episode 6, because the way that the books are told, or the stories are told, is very much like a TV episode of your favorite crime TV show, where you get the kind of attack or situation that's being investigated during the rest of the episode at the very beginning of the book, and then you watch the investigation play out throughout. This doesn't have usually any court scenes. I think a couple of them did, but it's not like Law and Order where you get the investigation and then you get the court proceedings. It's very much more centered on the investigation and then the relationship between our 2 detectives. Really enjoying the series. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm looking forward to continuing. So the next book I finished was Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. This is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series by Carolyn Peckham and Susanne Valenti. This is a story about a set of twins who are living in the mortal world, and they are siblings who grew up in the system. They don't have parents, and when they turned 18, they immediately got kicked out of their foster home, so they've been just trying to make ends meet together, and they are approached by a man that says, "You need to come with me, you are not part of this world," and then it turns out that they are actually the children of the previous king and queen of their world, and they're supposedly have all of these abilities, but they have had no knowledge of any of this. And so they go into this world, into the academy setting, and this is, from what I'm told, is classified as a bully romance. There's lots of bullying in here. There's bullying not only by some people who could have romantic ties to our twins. I'm not sure. There's definitely some attraction. But they get bullied by almost everyone in the school. There are a few people who are people who want to see the girls come into their rightful place on the thrones, and then there are others who do not, especially the families of for lack of a better term, the government. who have kind of been ruling over the land since the previous king and queen were killed. And so we kind of follow these girls coming into their powers, learning about their parents and learning about what they can do, what abilities they have, and learning how to grow those abilities. This was very interesting. I definitely had a hard time remembering that these girls were 18. A lot of the things that happen in the school do not seem like age appropriate. The bullying, the means of bullying just seem very juvenile, and it's very hard, at least for me, to remember that these girls are 18. These people in the school are, like college age, because they don't act like that. And so that was kind of a little bit irritating. I will say that with all of the bullying and stuff, it does make it a very hard read. And I want nothing more than these girls to just grow into their powers and be able to kick all of these people's butts. But there are mysterious elements woven in between. We don't really know what happened before. We don't know a lot of things. Like there are attacks being done, and there's a presumption that a certain faction of creatures, I guess, are the culprits, but there's no real like hard evidence showing that. There are lots of shady characters in here. You don't know who has motivations or what their motivations are or anything, so there's lots of questions, and I really enjoyed like that aspect, like the mysterious elements. That's kind of what kept me flipping the pages. I definitely read this one, I think, pretty quickly. It took me a bit, but I feel like I got through large chunks with every read, which is unusual for me nowadays. I think the first time, my first like touch with this book, when I started it, I read like 94 pages in one sitting, and I'm like, that's pretty much unheard of for me with novels nowadays. And so I was like, okay, there's definitely something there. Now I will say the writing is not all that great, and there were definite things in there where I was just like, but it was an enjoyable read. There are definitely questions that I have, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. Now, I had mentioned in my previous episode, I think, that I was watching another lady's YouTube channel where she was talking about different reading orders that you could do with this series. And so there are like 3 series, I think, that are set in the world that Zodiac Academy is set. And so she had offered her opinion on her most recommended reading order, and so that is the reading order that I'm going to follow, unless I decide after I read a few more that this is not something that I want to continue. But for right now, I still have a lot of interest in it, and so I definitely want to see where this goes. So I'm doing what's called the most emotional damage reading order, the one that will cause the most emotional damage. And so I will be, provided that I continue with this series, jumping around between this series and the prequel series that was written, and then the series that comes after this. And so, yeah, in case you're interested, I will leave the video that I watched down in the description box below again, in case you would also like to read this series and want recommendations on the reading order and things like that. But it was interesting enough, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens in this series. And so that's Zodiac Academy. So starting another series, which I do that a lot. Even though I'm supposed to be working on series that I'm like in the middle of, I will always start new series. So that's another new series I started. But I continued with one with the Criminal Intention series. And so I figure as long as I'm continuing with ones, then it's okay, right? I actually continued with another series. So the next book that I finished was Murder in the Paperback Parlor, which is the second book in the Book Retreat mystery series by Ellery Adams. This is a cozy mystery series that kind of takes place in it's almost like a B&B that hosts these like reading retreats where there are themed events and things like that. It sounds like such a fun like destination. But I had read the first one. Can't remember if it was for the Book One Cozies Club or not. But I had read the first one years ago and I enjoyed it. I really like took to the whole like event planning and the event occurring, and it's all based around books and readers and their love of books. And I had tried to read this one, I think it said back in 2020, and it just wasn't hitting for me then. I think I got 4 chapters in and then I just said, no, this is not what I'm feeling like reading right now, and I stopped. And so I wanted to revisit this series, and particularly because this one happens around Valentine's Day and the festivities that are happening at our venue. And so I thought, okay, let me try this again. And so I re-borrowed a copy of the audiobook from my library through Hoopla, and I did finish it this week. But I have to say that this one was kind of mediocre for me. I was just kind of passively listening to it. I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It pretty much follows like a writer of romance novels who's coming out with a next installment in a series, and the beta readers are not happy with the decisions that were made, and then, you know, the writer is found dead. I don't know what it was about this particular installment that just didn't grab me. I don't know if it's because the like death doesn't occur until much later in the book. I think it doesn't even occur until the 8th chapter, which is kind of a long time. I didn't really care for the kind of relationship that's starting to bloom in this one, and all of the kind of views that other people have on what's going on. There's a bit of not miscommunication per se, but withholding information for the sake of another person. That it's just like there was no reason for that. Our amateur sleuth does something that I thought was extremely dumb, and it's something that I really, really dislike, because this is something that anybody with a shred of common sense would know not to do, yet she goes and does it. And I'm going to tell you what it is, and I don't think it's going to spoil anything in the book at all. But when the body is found on property, our main character is alerted by a person on staff at the venue, and she goes and starts to poke and prod at the body and trample around the crime scene. And it's just like, you just contaminated the crime scene. Like, what are you thinking? And so that really irritated me a lot. And especially because this is not her first rodeo. We're in the second book right now. This is the second dead body that they're dealing with. She should know better. She should know better. And so that really, really ticked me off. Like I said, the rest of the book was just like, okay. And so I ended up giving that one 3 stars. I even forgot to give you my ratings for the other one. So Where There's Smoke, I got 4 stars. Zodiac Academy, 4 stars. Murder in Paperback Parlor, 3 stars. It's to the point now where I'm not sure if I want to continue with this one. I've been having a really rough time with the cozies that I've been picking up. They're just not as enjoyable to me anymore. And I don't know if I've just read too many, or if I'm just too old now where I just can't let things slide. I mean, we're dealing with amateur sleuths, right? I can understand, like, in a first novel where they'd make mistakes like that, or they wouldn't know like what to do. They can be a little bit unpolished. But now, the second book, you should be a little bit smarter, right? You should have learned from your experience in the previous situation. And that's definitely not something that happened here. So, yeah. I'm going to have to look up the next installment and see what that one is about. If it occurs around a holiday, I will probably try to read it around that holiday. But I'm not in a real rush to read any more of this series. So I'm leaving it open. I'm not like saying I'm not going to read any more at this point. I'm going to probably try one more. It's possible that it was just like, because this is a Valentine's Day kind of themed book, that all of those little elements and things, it being about a romance writer and, some readers who weren't happy with things, and just like, the whole, like I said, withholding information and how the budding relationship is being looked at. There were a lot of things for me to not really enjoy about this one. So maybe it was just this one installment. At least I'm hoping that's what it is, because I really, really enjoyed the first installment. And so we'll see what happens when the next one. So that was that. And then the last book I finished was Beautiful Creatures, which is the first book in the cast of Chronicles by Garcia and Margaret Stohl. This is a reread for me. So this is a series that I started reading a very, very long time ago. And I think I read 2. We were actually reading this at my office. One of the ladies there had brought this series into the office, and she knew that I read a lot. And she's all, "Oh, have you read this one?" And I said, "Oh, no." And she's like, "Oh, it's really good. You have to check it out." And so I did, and I really enjoyed it. And then I read the second one when it came out, and then I just never continued. I'm not the person that will usually read a series that is in publication, because I hate waiting for next installments to come out. And oftentimes I will just forget about reading the series in its entirety if it takes too long, right? And so I think that's what happened with this one. When the third and fourth books came out, they were definitely on my radar, but I didn't really have the pull to like read them right away, and then they've just been languishing on my shelf. So I really, really want to finish this series this year, and in order to do that, I had to restart. So this is about a guy who's been living in this southern area, and he's just kind of like blasé going about his life. His dad's kind of a shut-in. He never really sees him. His mom passed away, and he's just like, every day's the same kind of thing. And then this girl, new girl, shows up in town. She is the granddaughter of someone that's pretty well known in the town. And then things start to happen in the like supernatural sense. And so, yeah, there's a whole bunch of like story about fate and choosing your destiny and things that are interwoven within this story. But again, the story does deal with bullying, because our new girl gets bullied a lot, not by only the kids at the school, but their parents. And so, yeah, I enjoyed my reread of this. I decided that I was going to try a different avenue this time and try to listen to the audiobook. And I will say the audiobook is not for me. I did not really enjoy the narration, and the audiobook has like music and atmospheric sounds, and those did not help my enjoyment of my read through of this. Plus, there are times where people are like saying stuff in their heads, and that is like narrated in kind of a computerized sounding type voice, and it's really, really weird. And I just did not enjoy that. So I actually had switched off from the audiobook and continued reading physically. And that was a much better experience for me. Surprisingly, even though it's been such a long time since I've read this one, I did remember quite a bit. And so I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. I ended up giving my read through of this 3 stars, only because of my not so good experience with the audiobook. I had previously given this book 4 stars. But yes, looking forward to continuing with that one. And so that's everything that I read since I talked to you last. I am not in the middle of anything at the moment because I finished Beautiful Creatures last night, and this coming week is our manga club meeting, and so you know that I always clear the deck for the manga club selections. So I will be focusing on the manga club selections over the next week, and then I'm not quite sure what the next novel or audiobook I want to pick up will be. I will definitely need one throughout the week because I will usually listen to an audiobook during my lunch breaks at work. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I want to pick up, but I'm just going to wait until I absolutely have to have an audiobook and then choose then. So that's all for the reading, and I guess it's time for another Yarnie update. Okay, so again, this week I'm going to have my whips to talk to you about first, and then we're going to do 3 more whips that I'm hoping to focus on and possibly complete in 2025 as part of the 12 days of cast-ons. That's being hosted by Angela from Yarn and Yarns. And so this you saw in the thumbnail. So this is in my daughter's Competo bag, and this is her Christmas socks. So this was one of my 12 days cast-ons, and I finished 1 sock. So this is where I was the last time I talked to you, and I was able to complete this sock. So this is just a plain vanilla sock, 2x2 rib, about 45 stitches in the leg, or 45 rows. I did Kay Jones's butterfly heel, which is kind of a new one for us. And so that was interesting. I know I didn't do the heel very correctly, but it looks not too bad. So I'll try again on the second one. But butterfly heel, and then just a vanilla foot, and then I did my lightning toe at the end. And it's basically just a rounded toe with no tab. And so, yeah, finished that one. And then I did start on the second sock. So this is how much I have right now. Not too much, but I did start it. So that's great. We are doing this in Opal Joy in the color Lebensfreude. So I think that means, I'll put it down here. And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying the Opal yarn. It's pretty plush, I would say. And so, yeah, enjoying the nice self-patterning as well. You can kind of see the gingerbready tones and the pine and the nice crisp blue sky and things. I am enjoying this one. By time we're done with this, we'll have to see if I have enough to make a pair of socks for myself. Normally, my daughter and I will split a full skein, so she'll have her pair, I'll have mine, and in order to do that, we do use some alternate heels and toes. But daughter had wanted her own, just fully done sock in 1 yarn. And so we'll see how much I have left. I probably will be able to eke out a pair for myself if I put in an alternate cuff, heel, and toe. So we'll see about that when I'm done. But so far, so good. Definitely something that is very easy for me to pull out and work on, especially with meetings that I've had at the office, or not at the office, but for work, because I do work from home. And so, yes, doing good progress on this one. And so that is the first whip I have to talk to you about this week. The second one is also one for my daughter in her Gnomes bag from Otterly Adorable Knits. This is her Villains Juntu sweater. The Juntu sweater is a pattern that is free on Ravelry, and it's from Tiina Huhtaniemi of Tuku wool. And we are doing this sweater in yarn that I bought at the yarn festival that I attended in November. And so we have this is what it looks like so far. So this is a DK weight sweater. And so I was here when I talked to you last. So that's Hades right there. And so I have this much done. So I'm thinking that I want to finish the third repeat of the colors. So you can kind of see I'm doing 2 rows of each color and then just repeating that down. So I'm on the third repeat right now. So I'm going to measure it after I put in the third set of colors, and then we'll see where I'm at as far as length on the sweater. I am not doing jogless rows. So in the back there is a seam, but daughter says she doesn't mind too much. I did already weave in the ends up here, but I have not woven in the ends down here yet. I really should do that, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the look of this sweater. Every time I bring it out to work on, I'm like, oh, that's going to be really nice. And I'm a little bit jealous, if I'm honest, but really, really nice. I'm enjoying this wool also. So the yarns that I'm using, the colored yarns, are from Magic Land Yarns, and it was in this mini skein collection, and it's mini MINNIE because Magic Land Yarns is a Disneyland or Disney inspired yarn company. And so this was a collection of villains inspired colorways. So we've got Hades, which is the blue, Unfortunate Soul, which is the lilac, Be Prepared, which is the neon green, Extract of Llama, which is the hot pink, and Mistress of All Evil, which is the purple. And so, again, just for color reference, that's what those look like. And I just have them skeined up in little mini skeins like this. And then the main color that I'm using is a Knit Picks Swish DK, which is 100% fine superwash merino wool. And this is the color Cobblestone Heather. And so I'm really, really enjoying the swish. I haven't used it before, but it is really, really nice to work with. And so I'm definitely going to need to look into purchasing some swish for myself. But yes, really enjoyable. Like I said, every time I bring it out, I'm like, that is going to look so amazing. And so I'm really excited for this. And so, yeah, just slowly working my way down. Like I said, Hades is my stitch marker here. That's also from Otterly Adorable Knits. And then my beginning of round marker is here. And that is Maleficent. So I had bought a stitch marker set from Otterly Adorable Knits. And so, yes, very, very happy with everything. And lovely theming on this as well. And so, looking forward to getting more progress on that. So that is the second project that I worked on in the last couple weeks. And I have one more to share with you. Okay, no surprise that all 3 of the projects that I worked on were for my daughter this week. And so this one is in the Nutcracker bag from Stitch in the High Notes, who unfortunately is no longer making project bags. But in here is my daughter's Something Squishy. And so this is actually, the pattern being used is called Lagoon from Drops Designs, free pattern again. And so I didn't work too much on this. So this is just a brioche. They say English rib on the pattern, but it's a brioche sweater. And so we are doing the men's version, men's small on this one. But I didn't gauge swatch, and it looks like this is actually going to be quite big. But anyway, last time I talked to you, I was down here where the Triceratops is. And so I didn't do too much. I did about an inch And so, yeah, I really, really wanted to work more on this over the last couple weeks, but I've been dealing with some pain in my left arm due to the cold. And so, yeah, I wasn't able to stitch anything yesterday because it was just too painful. And so, yeah, I do want to put in more work on this though, because I think this is going to look really fun too. Plus, it is, as it says, very squishy. And so, yeah, that's where I am with that. So this one is being done in Karen Big Cakes. This is in the colorway Nightberry. And this is a 100% acrylic yarn. And so, yeah, just putting in some rows as I can. And I'm enjoying it so far. I wish I had more time to stitch. I really, really do. And when I do have the time, I wish I didn't have pain, which prevents me from putting in the stitches that I want to. But, you know, you can only do what you can do. But I'm really, really enjoying these projects. And so, yeah, that's everything that I worked on since I talked to you last. Now let me grab my last 3 whips that I really want to focus on as part of my 12 cast-ons. Okay, so since I wasn't able to cast on 12 projects because of shortages of needles, I had decided that I would cast on 6 and then I would add in 6 whips to like focus on, so that by the end of 2025 I would have needles available to do my 12 cast-ons for 2026. So that's kind of what I'm doing. You only really needed to have cast on 1 project in order to participate in 12 cast-ons. But I ended up casting on 7 because I did finish the Candle Cozy. And so, yeah, that was fun. But anyway, I did pick out 6 whips that I really, really want to focus on this year. And so I shared 3 with you the last episode. And so this episode I have 3 as well. And so the first one you haven't seen in a while. This is in my 80s bag. And so you can see there's like My Little Pony, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Care Bears, Rainbow Bright. And so my mom made me this bag. Really, really enjoy this bag. But in this bag is a project that should have been completed a long, long time ago. And so this is my love note. So I have been working on this love note for a while and it just keeps languishing. This is Love Note by Tin Can Knits. And such a gorgeous color. I know that this is going to be something that I'm going to absolutely love when I'm done. I just need to get it done. And so, I think the last time I showed it to you, I was here where my shark marker is. This is a tiger shark, I think. Anyway, Otterly Adorable Knits again. I think the last time I worked on this, I was in the parking lot of the hospital. The second time my mom was in the ER. And so that was a couple years ago. 2023, I think. It could have been the beginning of 2024, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it was still 2023. In any case, that was the last time I worked on this. I haven't worked on it again since. So this is actually being done in this cone of yarn. So this is Brown Sheep Company in their Nature Spun Fingering, which is 100% wool, in the color Hurricane Seas. So I have this cone of yarn, and then my mohair, I am alternating skeins because the mohair is hand dyed. So the mohair looks like this. This is the Honeydukes colorway from Lolo Did It. and her Molo base. And my understanding is that she no longer offers this base, but she offers a Surrey alpaca instead, I think. But I've had this in my stash for a very long time. And so I thought it was about time to use it. So both of those yarns gives this color. So you can still see all of the rainbow color from the Honeydukes mohair in with the Hurricane Seas yarn. And so, yeah. It's just plain stockinette in the round. I just need to go down the body, finish the body, do the sleeves, and then I'm done. So, yeah, I would really love to get this done this year. So that's the first project that I would really, or I should say it's the fourth project that I would really love to complete this year. The next is in this Muppets bag. This is also from Otterly Adorable Knits. I have a lot of bags from Otterly Adorable Knits as well as Notions. Really, really enjoy their products. And I would have to say that I think about 40% of the bags I have are from Otterly Adorable Knits. 40% of the bags that I have are from my mom. And then 20% of my bags are from other people. And so, yeah, I have a lot of Otterly Adorable Knits bags. They were the first, bag company that I had purchased from. And I just really, really enjoy their stuff. So definitely go check them out if you are interested. They do have an Etsy shop, which I'll link down in the description box below. But in this bag are my Little Muppet socks. So this is just a plain vanilla sock. The colorway is Little Muppets from Moose and You Yarns. In their sturdy sock base, 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. And so came in a gobstopper ball like this. And so I do have the first sock done. Again, 2x2 rib, about 45 rows in the leg. The butterfly heel from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And then just plain down the foot and my lightning toe. This charcoal gray color is onion yarn in a charcoal color. I don't really have a lot. So hopefully this is enough to take care of what I needed to take care of for this sock. So yeah, that might have been one of the reasons why I have not progressed with this project, is because I'm not sure that I have enough yarn. And I think the company that I had bought the onion yarn from is no longer in business. So this particular second sock might need to have a plain black or different heels and toes. Or different toe, because I think I have enough for the heel at least. But with this one, I have started the second sock. So I have about this much. And so, yeah, I think I had taken this one with me to Florida when we had gone in 2023. Because we had gone to Disney World that year, and I think I took these as my project for that trip, because there is Muppet Vision at Hollywood Studios right now anyway. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I took this project. I'm pretty sure I took this project with me on that trip. So yeah, I just gotta get this sock done. And so it shouldn't take too long. It's just I have to work on it. And so that is in this project bag. And then I've got one more project to share with you. Okay, this one is a cast on that is not all that old. You've seen it recently. And so I definitely want to make sure that I finish this one this year. And that is my Paul Klee sweater by Midori Hirose. So it's in my really fun holographic bag. This was my advent project for 2024. I had used a previous yarn advent calendar that I had gotten from Yarn Cafe Creations. It was the My Little Pony A Very Minty Christmas advent calendar from 2021. I think it was 2021. Because I think that was the year that we were locked down. So I'm pretty sure that I had ordered it in 2021. So, in any case, this is what it looks like right now. I finished the yoke. So all of the colors from the advent calendar are in. And the last time I showed it to you, I had just started on the body. So I was here the last time, and so I have 2 rows of color. And so I think I need to add in some stitches and get to the sleeve separation. I think that's what I'm working on right now. And so, yeah, this is such a fun yoke. Like, I love all of those colors together. It's just so happy. And so, yeah, it is a fingering weight sweater. Again, all the mini skeins were from Yarn Cafe Creations. They're biscotti sock base. And so, yeah, really, really enjoyable. And then the gray color is this right here. This is Knit Pick Stroll Effects in the Pearlescent Tonal colorway. And I am alternating skeins because if you had noticed in the neckline, you can kind of see that it is kind of striping a little bit the way that it's pooling. And I know that now that I have much more stitches in the body, it may not look like this when I work the body, but I didn't want to take that chance. And so I am alternating skeins in the body. And so I would really like to put more work into this as well. This being a fingering weight sweater is obviously going to take a little bit more effort, especially because of the gauge, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the end. And again, I just need to put some time into it. And so, yeah, really, really happy with that. Would love to get that done this year. And so those are all of the projects that I've worked on over the last couple weeks, all of the projects that I do plan on working on for the rest of the year. And so, yeah, really, really enjoying like getting back to knitting and, well, when I'm able to, putting in the time and seeing my projects grow and things like that. It's just that I'm not getting as much time as I would like, either because work, which still hasn't calmed down for me, or pain. And I actually am kind of starting to feel a flare up right now. And so, yeah, I might not be able to stitch a bit tonight, but that's what makes me unhappy, is not having the want, you know, to do it and just not having the time or the ability to do it. And so I really, really would like to get more stitches in, see these projects grow, complete some of them, and I hope you'll join me along the way. And so that's pretty much it for this episode. What did we watch over the last couple weeks? We watched the John Williams documentary on the Disney Plus channel. I don't know if you know, or for those of you who are new to me, I was a music player for many years of my life. And so when you're talking about symphonies and orchestras and, you know, composers and things, it's something that is very integrated into my life, especially during that time. I was very into it. I was in orchestra, I was in band, I was in marching band, and rehearsals all the time. So, it's something that's very much a part of my life, as well as, music and soundtracks and things. It was something that I was very, very into. And John Williams has written so many scores of my youth, and so lots of his music is very close to my heart, kind of thing. And so it's really interesting to hear how he got into making music and things like that, and how he came to these projects, and the kind of impact some of the projects had on his career. And it just was so interesting. And so if you haven't checked it out on the Disney Plus channel, I would definitely recommend you do so. I'm sure you know something that John Williams has written. And so, yeah, it was very, very interesting. We started watching Cross, which is the TV series that is based on the Alex Cross series of books by James Patterson. It's interesting. It's on Amazon Prime. And yeah, there's definitely some interesting things going on. I do not think the series follows the books very closely. I'm going to find out, though. It's definitely on my list of things to check out in the near future. So that's been interesting. We're starting to watch Please Look After My Refrigerator again. It apparently got picked up for a new season on Netflix. I watched it several years ago, I think, and they had stopped. And it's basically where you have a couple of celebrities that come with their refrigerators to this show, and then you have a series of chefs that will take the ingredients from their refrigerator and make them some meals based on prompts from the guests. Really, really enjoyable show. And so we started watching that, and it was really, really fun. Several familiar faces have come back to the show, and so it was very enjoyable to watch those. We've caught up with all of our usual American TV shows. And then last night we watched You've Got Mail. And the reason that we watched You've Got Mail, it was a movie that I watched once before, and I enjoyed it, but it was never one of those movies that was like, oh, I ever had the want to rewatch. But the Bakery Bears, during their podcast, are doing a series called My Favorite Sock. And Kay is doing a yarn dyeing tutorial, as well as kind of teaching you all of the elements that go into making her favorite pair of socks. And so the theme that she had chosen for her colorways in the dyeing parts of these episodes are from You've Got Mail. And it had been so long since I've seen You've Got Mail that when they're talking about the scenes that she pulled color inspiration from, I was like, I don't remember any of that. And so when she first started the series, I started looking to see if it was available on any streaming services, and it wasn't. But it did show up on Hulu. And I don't know when, but it showed up on Hulu. I saw it when I was going to go and play the John Williams documentary on the Disney Plus channel, because now Disney Plus and Hulu, you can kind of see the Hulu stuff on the Disney Plus as well. And I don't like to mix my Hulu with my Disney Plus, so I always watch Disney Plus stuff on Disney Plus, and then if it's available on Hulu, I watch that on Hulu. And so we had watched You've Got Mail on Hulu, and I really enjoyed it. And so now I've got a better frame of reference for when Kay is going to continue with the series and talk about the scenes that she's pulling inspiration from and things like that. So that was great. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much all that we've been up to recently. We saw the first trailer for Jurassic World. Yeah, it looks really, really good. My daughter's really excited for that one as well. And so we're looking forward to watching that one in theaters in the summertime. But yes, I think that's pretty much all there is to catch you up with over the last couple weeks. So yeah, I'm going to be honest and say I'm not really enjoying doing these bi-weekly. It's kind of a lot to kind of remember, what's been going on over the last couple weeks. Remember what I talked to you about before in the previous episodes. So I'm having to refer a lot back to what I had recorded back then. And so I'm having kind of a crisis. Crisis of thought. I don't know what I want to do. But on top of that, because these episodes are now longer, because I'm catching you up on 2 weeks worth of stuff instead of one, the editing process has gotten a lot longer as well. And so that's kind of taking a lot more time than I would like also. So still struggling to figure out what I want to do. But for now, we're just going to continue on. March Mystery Madness is going to start by the time I talk to you next, I think. Yeah, it'll be the 1st of March, the next time I record. But it will be March 4th, I think. 5th? 5th, by the time you see the next video. And so, yeah. Yeah, March Mystery Madness is going to be madness. It's always busy, but it's a fun time. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just reading a whole bunch of mysteries and talking with lots of people about mysteries, introducing people to mysteries. So if you haven't heard about March Mystery Madness and what we are doing, it's our 10th round. This is our 10th round. It's been a very, very long time. I've participated in the first one. I've hosted every single one after that in some capacity. And it's just, it's a really good time introducing people to mysteries. Every year we get people who have said, oh, I've not heard of your event before. And it's just so lovely to talk to them about what types of mysteries they like to read. If they've not read mysteries at all, to give them some recommendations and things. And so, yeah, really, really fun time. I'll link my announcement video down in the description box below in case you didn't see the announcement. We have a suggested, we have a theme and we have some suggested prompts, but you never ever have to use the prompts. March Mystery Madness is all about promoting and reading mysteries. So just by reading one mystery, you can say you participated in March Mystery Madness. And so let me know down in the comments below if you will be participating in March Mystery Madness. Have you participated with us before? And if you are participating, what are you planning to read? I would really love to know. If nothing else, you'd just like to let me know that you were here. If you could leave me a magnifying glass emoji for March Mystery Madness down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.